Good evening. Happy 4th of July. Trust everyone has had a great day so far as we unfold this 4th of July Independence Day and spend it with family and reminiscing and recognizing what freedom really is. And I am so glad to be here with you to engage in this sacred art of prayer and raise our vibrations to the level of the divine so that we continue to uplift ourselves, our community, and the entire globe to a different way of living, to a different way of communicating with each and every aspect of our being. So good evening, everyone. I would gather that some of you maybe have taken the fireworks in and you've taken everything off the barbecue grill and you're sitting back now and maybe waiting for more fireworks. Depends on where you are. Here in Colorado, it's still probably another 30 minutes or so before it gets dark and the real fireworks begin. But you know, that whole idea for me of fireworks, right, that we use to celebrate Independence Day and other days of celebration, but this explosion of light and this sound that is an awakening call, as I see it, is a very good metaphor for us as spiritual beings looking to stand in the idea of freedom and independence, of exploding to our greatness, exploding into the divine mind of God so that we can spread our light and our joy and our prosperity all over the world. And so I was looking for a quote, as I often do, to share with the call tonight, and looking at freedom and independence and what all that means. And I came up with the one that I think is really good, and I'm going to share it. And if you think so, you know, throw something in the chat or give you comments. But here we go. It says, "May we think of freedom not as a right to do as we please, but the opportunity to do things right." To do things right, not as an opportunity to do as we please, but to do things right. That is the idea of freedom. And so I had to think about that for a minute to say, what does that mean? What does it mean to think about something and doing it right? And I'm going to flash that up again and just be silent and let you look at it. So that idea of thinking of freedom as the opportunity to do things right. And we've gone through the last 16, 18 months of COVID, which is a reawakening period, a readjustment period, a period of creating a vision for something new. And a lot of it has been based around this idea of independence and freedom for all people. And as our Declaration of Independence says, that we were created with certain inalienable rights, decreed by the Creator of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so now we find ourselves exactly in that kind of a moment where everything has been readjusted, everything has been reawakened and all the chinks in the armor, if you will, have been exposed, and we now have an idea that we can stand on called freedom and independence to remake or live up to that statement in our Declaration of Independence. A declaration of being free to live out our lives as spiritual beings who are here on a physical planet living a human life, but our essence is divine. Our essence is spirit, which is foundationally built on freedom. The freedom to express, the freedom to create. And we're independent to do that as we see fit, as long as it supports life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When it steps outside of those bounds, now we're moving in another direction, and we're not honoring the creed, if you will, of what that statement stands for and what that declaration is meant to do. And so I'm kind of stoked about Independence Day this year, because we just had Juneteenth was a Independence Day for blacks and those that who were involved in the slave practice that was going on, and now we have the independence of this country. And if we don't get that, when the settlers of this company, they came seeking independent freedom from what they thought was tyranny or not good living conditions in England. So this whole idea of being free to express oneself and to be creative is at the heart of these independent freedom days. And so with that, I'd just like to go into prayer. I'd like to just talk about calling down the divine mind of God, that energy that is everywhere present, to establish this foundation of freedom and liberty and pursuit of happiness for everyone. And so with that, let's just take a moment of silence and center ourselves and get grounded in the divine. And so if it feels comfortable for you, close your eyes. And so right here, right now, as we have the opportunity to lean into the explosion of light, that metaphor that describes God itself, the light that made the world, the light that lights up the universe. That is a metaphor for the energy of intelligence and spirit and the foundation of everything there is. And as we know, in the beginning was God, and everything that was made from God itself. Thus, we too are light, creating and unfolding the essence of God's light within us and allowing ourselves to stand wholly and boldly on this idea of freedom and independence. And so as we allow that co-mingling of the divine light with our own individual light and allowing ourselves to stand firm in that idea, I know and declare right here, right now, that each and every one of us that is here on this call and maybe listening later or just maybe picking up the vibrations of this prayer, to declare right here and right now that freedom rings from every mountaintop and every hamlet and every valley, so that each and every one of God's children can stand and say, yes, I'm here to be accounted for. I'm here to stand on freedom and liberty and independence and creating a world that works for all and doing the right thing in the right way at the right time, so that we create this connection, this communication, this loving family of humanity that is based on that idea of freedom and independence and equity and justice for all. And so I know right here, right now, that those that are in the sound of my voice and those that may hear it later and those that may be picking up this vibration are being raised to a higher level of understanding and are being called to a higher mission of action, to allow this idea of freedom and independence to ring. in our hearts and our minds and our activities and in everything we do, so that we create this just place for God's light to shine. And so it is in that understanding of shining forth the light that God has placed in each and every one of us that I give thanks. I give thanks for the opportunity to as the song say, let this little light of mine shine, to bring warmth and light and excitement to the hearts of anyone and everyone I meet, and anyone and everyone you meet. And so it is in that truth and trust and understanding that I release this prayer into the law, the mind of God, that will be illuminated by the light of the Spirit and will shine forth now and forevermore. And so I just release it and let it go and know it's so. And so it is. Amen, amen, and amen. And so I hope everyone is feeling the bell of freedom ringing in their heart and in their minds and in their very souls, in terms of awakening to a place where freedom is the norm. When that happens, we don't have to worry about celebrating the Independence Day or Freedom Day or any other kind of day, because we will recognize the freedom of man that is granted by God, and that everyone is supporting that idea and standing on it. And so I'd like to offer anyone who is in need of prayer to please send your prayers to prayer@ntmedia.org, and someone on the prayer team will lovingly and graciously take that prayer, whether it's for a person, place, thing, or situation, and send some divine light from the God of all to that idea. And as always, we appreciate your support and we love your continued support. So please send your tithes, offerings, gifts to www.ntmedia.org and click the donate button to continue to support this station and the efforts of creating a world that works for everyone. And so as we close out for the night and we start the Monday service of all the activities we have going next week, we have the morning visionings in the tomorrow morning, and cosmic prayer, the peace circle. We just have over 20 hours now of activities going on the network per week. So go out to the website, look at the schedule, find something there that raises your curiosity and open you up to the divine. And so with that, I wish everyone a wonderful night, knowing that you're safe and sound and that covered under the wings of the divine. And so with that, I will say peace and blessings. All is well, and so it is. Amen.